Hi, thank you for watching a new video blog. Today from Skopje, Macedonia, and behind me this beautiful mosaic. We can better rename the United States of America. I prefer to rename them as the United Ghost Towns of America. Because the United States has a big problem. It's suffering from empty ghost towns. The increasing numbers of little towns that are not inhabited by anybody. And this is an increasing problem through the whole United States.
Help our friend Jonathan Jacob, subscribe to his channel and like the video. Love from Macedonia.
And I think that we haven't seen the start of it yet. That's just the beginning. What we've seen now. It's very worrisome if you check out channels on YouTube where the content creator is visiting those cities. You can clearly see that the United States is in a very bad situation. And I recommend you to check out these channels. They are not only interesting to watch, but also it gives you a sense of calming effect when content creators make this kind of videos. I'm mostly in more noisy places like Skopje, Macedonia. But those content creators are visiting the abandoned cities, the ghost towns of the United States. And it's growing more and more and more. Little towns that used to be inhabited, used to be thriving, used to be a place where families could exist, are now desolated. All the communal services has left. And this is truly a problem for the United Ghost Towns of America. And it's a strange situation because on one hand the cities are struggling with increasing housing prices, yet if you go in the countryside there are complete cities, little towns that are abandoned. So the United States have a big problem. And when you check out videos on YouTube from young adults or elderly adults that are living in tents, in their van, in their car, you wonder what's going on in this country. And my conclusion is that this country doesn't care about its citizens at all. Because on the one hand, they let people just live in their tents, in their cars, in their van. And on the other hand, they have housing prices going through the roof. Now this might also be caused by inflation, but it creates a very strange situation. It's also a sign that the United States really is at its last stance. It makes me believe that not very long it will take to hear that the United States is bankrupt or losing its powerful position. Because on the one hand, people struggling even living in a tent, and on the other hand, housing prices are through the roof. There's something totally off there. And many decide also to leave the United States for that reason. Go to places where they get treated better, where they have more chance of a future, where they have more chance of owning a house, of having a piece of land where they can build a log cabin, become self-sustaining, instead of depending on this economy of the United States. People want to depend on themselves. But the ghost towns are really the first step. Because what you get first is that a country will get highly urbanized before it gets the downfall. Young adults are moving to the city. Rapidly, they leave the countryside. There's also not enough birds to maintain the countryside. There are very low birth rates in the United States, and it's no different in the countryside. So first, the countryside is dying. Young adults move away to the city, and in the city now they are experiencing, wait, there aren't even houses available, and if there's something available, I cannot buy it, I cannot afford it. Some foreigner from China, some billionaire, or some millionaire from the Middle East, or some other very rich foreigner has bought up the house that was meant for me. And then they realize, I have no future in this country, because I can only stay in my tent or in my car. And that's when they decide to move abroad, to leave the United States for what it is, and to find a country where they have more opportunities, where they can buy a piece of land cheaply and live off it. Have chicken without any county like fining them or restricting them in that. That's what is going on. First, the small towns are being drained because young adults are moving to the city. They're flocking to the city in hope to find work. Then in the city, when they arrive in the city, they notice that there's basically no place that they can afford. Rents are incredibly high, let alone buying something. Then they will move into tiny houses, their car, a van. And finally, they will decide just to leave. Move to Colombia. They move maybe to Eastern Europe, maybe to Brazil, any country but the West. And this is why there are now ghost towns in the United States and why this will continue. Because now it's only like the smaller towns, the very little towns in the countryside, but soon it will be also the larger towns that are nearby. The big cities will get empty. Then the suburbs will get emptier and emptier. And finally, the cities will implode. Because many people have left the United States. It doesn't stop with just the little towns in the countryside. Because with birth rates that are plummeting, with millionaires and billionaires buying up houses in the city, it's just countdown before Los Angeles is just a ghost town. New York will be a ghost town. Young adults are moving away, and what's left are just some investors and elderly folks that bought their house, and that's it. So be aware that the ghost towns is just the start. We'll soon see this increasing into cities, close to the larger cities, not only the countryside, then the suburbs, then everything around the inner city, and finally the inner city. Just as Rome has collapsed, so will these large cities in the United States also collapse. So it was for today from Skopje, Macedonia. I say thank you for watching. See you next time.